All right, we're going to try to hold Daniel McNichol 5 minutes in the next hour. Burma has huge breaking news on the swine flu genetically engineered bioweapon story. This is huge, and it's mainstream, hidden in plain view, and I'd forgotten about this when he pointed it out to me. So we have all these big scientists saying it was clearly engineered. We told you so. Big new developments coming up after I take a gamut of calls, opening the phones up again for those that we're holding that we had to let go earlier, 1-800-259-9231, and a big news blitz of stuff I haven't covered coming up. But Rob Dew, I know you're a huge fan of this film as well. I mean, I hope this ends up being on TV. That's my next question. But any comments you've got about the new film out now, Reclaiming the Blade?
Well, there's a couple things I like about it. The intro is really amazing, and that'll really draw you in, and it gives you a historical overview plus a pop culture overview and how they kind of merge together. And then that it's what these guys are practicing is sort of a lost art, and people are trying to bring it back in because it is another form to defend yourself, and that's another great thing about it. You with your sword could go out and defend yourself, defend your family, defend your belongings, and that's how you proved your worth, is with the sword. And then it goes into, we've had this in Western cultures, we had this in Asian cultures, with their fighting style, and it seems like the common thing that ground them all together was that blade that they were able to use and defend themselves and defend against tyranny. And that's what I really liked about it.
Absolutely. And is this going to end up being on TV?
Absolutely, yeah. We actually have a wonderful sales agent, Lisa Romanoff. She's doing a very good job. We are going to be airing it on the History Channel, likely PBS and A&E, and there's some other contenders, which would be Discovery Channel, Learning Channel. So absolutely, we're going to definitely have some airtime for this on TV. No question about that. And then, but we're
even though it has a pro arms message. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I think, the buyers are basically looking at dollars, and they're basically looking at filling slots, and they're looking for content. The job of any buyer, whether it's a retail buyer or a buyer who's finding content for TV, they're looking to fill slots, and they're looking for content that's gonna to be appealing to their audience. And so, yeah, I think for sure we should have some commercial TV. Actually, Mark Cuban wants to show it on HDNet. So but that's another place. We'll definitely do TV. TV is something. It comes down the line. Typically with filmmaking, you kind of do the theatrical thing, then you do home video, and then TV's kind of later down the line. And that's how we've approached it. However, I think for us, in our marketing, it might do us better to hit the TV a little earlier. So I would say this fall, look for it on one of these channels or a couple of these channels, and we'll definitely try to get it out there.
Tell us about some of the other things you've done, because this is a pretty big undertaking to get all these folks together and do such a great job. What other things have you worked on?
Well, if I could speak for a moment on filmmaking in general, I wanted to say this to your audience today. It was something that was kind of weighing on me before you called. I thought, I just felt, that this was important, and that is filmmakers, independent filmmakers, that you love need to be supported. I want to just, say you've produced some great films, and folks need to understand that you have to support the films that you love. Instead of buying a ticket to maybe a big Hollywood blockbuster this summer, why not, grab a copy of something from an independent filmmaker that you love and appreciate, such as some of the titles that you have and some of these other films. But, I think that's important. The audience is a part of the process.
Absolutely. Final 5-minute segment coming up with Daniel McNichol. Of course, he is the writer and director of just an amazing film with all these huge stars and history. My favorite type of documentary, Reclaiming the Blade. And we'll tell you how you can get a copy of it. First, you'll be first. We're honored when we come back in 70 seconds. Reclaiming the Blade. We have the writer and director on with us right now. A lot of big names, a lot of the top people in sword training. Just an amazing film, 2-disc set. Disc 2 is the making of the film, exclusive additional footage and interviews, over an hour of sword training videos. I'm going to enjoy watching that. 'Cause I got to learn how to beat my 6-year-old and 4-year-old because they're becoming too powerful for me. Oh, my goodness. And it's presented in widescreen with optional commentary with the director, Daniel McNichol and John Davies. Okay, going back to our guest last 5 minutes, I've got a lot of questions I could ask, but I just want to tell folks again the websites they can go to get these. Not in stores yet, not on TV yet. I'm honored you're doing this because this is a great bill to see something first. Tell folks the best websites to go to again to order this today.
Absolutely. It really technically isn't out until July 7th, but we're saying what the heck, we're getting it out there. Glacier Films Home Entertainment which is the label that we're putting it out on. It's swordmovie.com and reclaimingtheblade.com, which are our sites. And you can actually order it directly from there, and we'll ship it to you. It will be in stores and retail box stores July 7th on iTunes, Apple iTunes for download and all that good stuff. And hopefully this fall, definitely this fall, we're going to see it on TV. So Viggo Mortensen, Carl Urban, who's in the new Star Trek, Weta Workshop. We went down to Weta, who did all the swords for The Lord of the Rings, and did a very in-depth exclusive with them. Richard Taylor, who's the director there. John Rhys Davies is the narrator. The Royal Armories in Britain, actually, was a partner of this film, which is awesome. Lakeshore Records put out the soundtrack. Ken Sparling at Skywalker Sound. It's a phenomenal group of people coming together for a really good cause, which in my mind is a tribute to people like Bob Anderson and to people that have worked for years in the industry, but also a tribute to the martial artists and the symbol of the sword, because really the sword is a symbol. It's not necessarily just the sword today. The sword represents so much more. It represents the Second Amendment. It represents, whatever the weapons are of today. It represents all of these things. So it's not just a martial weapon, but it's also a symbol.
Well, I want to get John Rhys Davies and you back on right before it comes out.
Sure.
Here on the radio and at prisonplanet.tv. And, I'm not a big collector of things because I don't have time or money to do it, but I actually have bought a few collector swords. Because there were so many millions made over the years, you can get like a 300, 400-year-old sword, for super cheap, and they're just really neat.
By the way, my publicist will kill me if I don't mention this. We are actually giving away some, $900 plus real swords that are made by like master swordsmiths. So if you even just sign up on our mailing list, if you don't want to spend the bucks to get a disc, just sign up on our mailing list and you're entered to win one of like 9 swords we're giving away. We're giving away Force FX lightsabers from Hasbro, so there's a lot of free stuff we're giving away as well. And we'll be at the conventions, Comic-Con and Dragon Con and all those types of things.
Hey, what Star Wars sabers are you giving out? More Yodas?
The Yodas are great for kids, but we're definitely going to be doing some Darth Mauls and some of the Anakin Skywalkers, and my favorite, which is
I've got a green one, yeah. A blue one. The Anakin's blue, right?
The Anakin is blue, and then when you go to the dark side, you got the red saber as well. I think the Darth Vader saber, obviously, is red.
I have that.
But yeah, we're giving those away. And as I said before, I definitely want to send some to you, and just it would make me happy to think that you guys were running around your studios, having some sword fights every now and then.
Hey, I was sent by the Darkon folks, these filmmakers, some Darkon swords. So, no, I want more lightsabers. Bring them. I'll defeat you, Rob Dew. Look at Rob Dew. I'm going to crush him I'm going to destroy you as soon as these swords come in. Hey, listen, it was great having the writer and director of Reclaiming the Blade on with us, Daniel McNichol. Thank you so much for coming on. I hope folks get the DVD at the website today, my friend.
My pleasure.
Hey, it was great having you. And listen, talk to Rob as soon as you want to come back on and have the dwarf Gimli on. We're really excited. Thank you.
Okay, sounds good.
Bye, con Dios. Okay, hardcore news straight ahead, but there's some history for you. I love it, so that's why we covered it.